Thank you for staying with us. Detained leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has promised to restore peace to the Southeast region in 2 minutes if he is released. Kanu, who is standing trial for terrorism, said this shortly after the Federal High Court in Abuja ended the proceeding where he was denied bail. Recall that the IPOB leader has been in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, since 2021, facing a trial bordering felony and terrorism, amongst others. Speaking with journalists on Tuesday, Kanu said he suspected some government officials were making a fortune from insecurity. Take a listen.
And they're doing it because I'm in DSS. That's why if I want to know and try this rubbish, and they know it very well. They know it very well. And I suspect that some people in government are complicit. They are making money with insecurity. They're making money with it. They know now the Kanu is outside. In 2 minutes, this nonsense will stop.
Anybody involved in any form of violence or insecurity in the Southeast, in the name of IPOB, they know it. Let me come out of this nonsense, this mess. 2 minutes only. Only 2 minutes, I guarantee you. And there will be peace in the East. Not just South. Everywhere in the East, if not the entire South.
All right, in the studio with me to discuss this is political analyst, social commentator, Ziggy Ibe. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And also in the studio with me, Igbo Youth Congress President, Bright Izocha. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, let me begin with you, Ziggy. This statement made by Nnamdi Kanu has been generating reactions. He's saying 2 minutes, just give him 2 minutes, that if he's released, that peace, there'll be peace in the Southeast. And then he also laid some allegations talking about there are those who are benefiting from the crimes and criminality going on in the Southeast, because he did not understand how people who you say you are fighting for, you are killing them, disrupting their businesses, indeed saying that you are actually fighting for their interest.
Thank you. This is not new to us now. That statement is pregnant, but in as much as impregnable that statement is, I would want to think that Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, had not actually known how large that organization has become. In this statement, I meant that organization, which he championed or is still championing, has actually outgrown him.
Really?
He is speaking from the ground or believe that he is still very much in charge of that organization. But you and I will leave that to him until he is released. And let's see how that 2 minutes stoppage could come on that axis. Because like he rightly observed, people are profiteering from that business. That has become people's enterprise. In fact, they've made commercial ventures out of that organization. And those were the areas Nnamdi Kanu, I'm sure, he's not looking at. Nnamdi Kanu has lost grip of that organization, from all I believe. Because if you look at the trajectory, right from when it first started, it was actually in total charge. Okay? And we knew how they started. But at a large extent, he grew out of hand. And he himself, when in his second coming...
Was this before he was arrested?
No, before, the first time the first time before he bolted. Okay? When he came back, he couldn't still control them. Okay? And it's not as if we've not had leadership of that organization in between.
Also between...
Okay? In between, yes, because when he left, some other people, Imapa, who was at a point leading the organization, at a point, some other person grew out of it in the name of this guy from Ebonyi State, the one that controls from Finland.
Yes.
I'm talking of Simon Ekpa.
Ekpa, yeah.
Okay? So it's not as if they don't have a leadership in that organization. So I wish him Godspeed for him to be out of that organization. And let's see the magic he's going to perform in order to stop
so you think that
the ravaging boys as we speak. Well, so many of his boys are no longer loyal to him. Because he has been speaking from the incarceration room. He has been speaking through his lawyer, Ejimako. Yes. And Ejimako many times had brought word from him to his boys. Have they stopped? Because the voice heard from him through Ejimako is the same voice of Nnamdi Kanu. Unless they are telling us what Ejimako was transmitting was different from what Nnamdi Kanu was telling him. Okay, now we've heard him. Let's see how peace comes from that end. So the restivity of these boys were not actually what Nnamdi Kanu could restore as it comes out. But that is still in my own imagination. Okay? But what I'm saying is that has become merchandised. It has become an enterprise to so many. Like he said so many government people, when he alleged, so many politicians are complicit. In it, that means they're making commercial out of the enterprise.
So it's not longer about the interest of the people?
At all. Because if it were about the interest of the people and agitating for Nnamdi Kanu to come out of the prison and all that, it shouldn't have gone the far it has gone. It is taking too much a position for one to feel that they were actually fighting for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu. Why not so? We've had so many issues. First issue was when the sit-at-home was backed upon. How many times had Nnamdi Kanu asked them to stop? Did he stop?
He did not.
How many times had Nnamdi Kanu asked the people? Because at a point they had fractions. IZON was created out of IPOB and all that. So if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, which I wish he could, let's see how 2 minutes stoppage could be seen.
All right, let's get Bright Izocha's perspective to this matter. He is saying that that Nnamdi Kanu has lost grip of that body, so to speak. I wonder if you see it in that way, because 2 minutes and ensuring if he's released and peace being restored, we do not know how that will happen.
It is possible.
Okay.
I've been a member of a self-determination group in Nigeria for the past 30 years, and I know how these things work.
Okay.
A leader is always a leader.
So how come they have not been responding to all the statements?
They cannot respond to any message from a third party. Their leader is being castrated unjustly as they believed. And there's nothing I'm going to tell them that will stop them from continuing their activities. Mind you, this sit-at-home every Monday started because of the agitation to get Nnamdi Kanu released from the
but he told them, like he rightly alluded,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, you see, let me tell you something.
So seeing him on TV make that statement is not enough?
It's still not enough. It's still not enough. Because that statement is anchored on his release. He said, release me, 2 minutes, this thing will stop. He didn't say, stop, because I'm being incarcerated. He said, release me.
I am referring back to, I'm referring to this time he said that the sit-at-home should be stopped.
You see, whether Nnamdi Kanu send message through his lawyers or not, his people, his comrades want to hear directly from him. They want his freedom. His freedom is paramount to them, not what Nnamdi Kanu is saying from the prison. Nnamdi Kanu can be under duress to issue such statements. They don't know what is happening when he issued those statements.
I mean, his lawyers and people have access.
It doesn't matter. You see, the lawyers can come out and tell the people, I am a member of self-determination group. If today you arrested me today, and my lawyer is telling my boys, Bright says this, Bright said that, they will not listen to you. They want to hear directly from Bright. They want to see me. They want that my freedom will be paramount in their mind. It doesn't matter what any other person is saying. Even if my mother or my father is telling them that I said so, they will not listen. Because in as much as there is a primary objective that everybody is fighting for, that is structural violence against our people, Nnamdi Kanu incarceration is also a continuation of that structural violence against our people. Mind the social violence is directly linked to direct violence. When you arrested a man, court granted him bail, and you carried the military might to invade his home. Were you going there to kill him or to spare his life? The same thing we witnessed in the case of Igbohu, who have to escape around to Benin Republic. Today, Igbohu have been pardoned, but Igbohu is back to Nigeria. There is also a similar situation that involves so many people. This issue of terrorism and what have you have been charged on a lot of Nigerians. Once you try to agitate for the right and the freedom of your people, the government label you a terrorist. So it's not terrorism and all this is not a thing of today. We have been hearing that for the past. Someone like Asari Dokubo and all Niger Delta militants have also been labeled the same thing, and they have been forgiven. What is so special about this Nnamdi Kanu that the federal government have refused to let him go? That is the fundamental question everybody is asking. And having said that, let me also reinforce it here that a lot of people and the political leadership in Southeast are making money out of Nnamdi Kanu incarceration. That is why they are done.
That's a weighty allegation.
Yeah, it is.
So, because you have to give us the facts.
You see, the more there is crisis and violence in the Southeast, the more their security votes increase, the more they are not accountable to anybody.
How is that?
You see, these people that are governing the Southeast today, a lot of them cannot even come in the village square meeting where others people are sitting to discuss issue of the village square.
Why not?
Because you see, in Igbo land where I came from, people ask, son of who are you? It's not about wealth. It's son of the character, because when they know your father, they know your character. There are some of these people that cannot even come out in the village square meeting to discuss issues that concern India.
But who are those that voted them in as their leaders?
We witnessed what happened in Imo State recently. So you can know how these people are being voted into power. Where election did not take place in any place, and then you sit down somewhere and wrote results and throw out there. Because you know if there's peace in the land, people will be free to move around and to exercise their franchise of voting for their own choice candidates. But they will not, because they know if such playground is allowed,
so you're saying all the efforts being made by the governments of the Southeast is just it's just met up. It's not in the interest of the people.
It is a show.
This is something weighty. This is a weighty allegation.
You see, the truth, we know.
Were you there when the security votes were being increased? Were you there?
Are we not seeing the budget on the newspaper and the pages of newspaper and the television every day? Are we not seeing how they spend money, claiming to spend money on this budget to do this town hall meeting, try to pacify people, or try to do this? Are we not seeing how much is being earmarked for all those things? This is how they are writing off our collective wealth in the Southeast. Because if they actually want Nnamdi Kanu to be released today, the political leadership in the Southeast, they want Nnamdi Kanu to be released today.
Have you forgotten that they met, even with this current president, they spoke with him at some point with regards to this matter? You
see, all those talk shows.
Why do you call it talk show?
Have we let Nnamdi Kanu come?
Did they go and meet the president or not to talk about the release of Nnamdi Kanu?
People went and meet the president to pardon Igbohu. Is Igbohu not out? Is Igbohu not free to move around?
So why do you think that they did not do something about this and the conversation did not go around the matter of the release of Nnamdi Kanu? Is it because he's still in DSS custody? You think that is just a show? Do you know if there are other reasons?
I believe so.
Behind he's still being held back?
What are other reasons? What has Nnamdi Kanu done that others did not do? Tell me one. Nnamdi Kanu he don't even live in Nigeria in the first place to say you have killed anybody or anything. But those who we knew that lived in this country that perpetrated a lot of atrocity have been pardoned. Even those that are still fighting, killing innocent people in the north, are being pardoned every day. The repentant Boko Haram have been pardoned and reinstated in the society.
Have you and your people?
Why on earth is Nnamdi Kanu different from others?
Called to question the conversations around the release of Nnamdi Kanu? Have you called the Southeast governors to question, to say, what are you people doing? The conversation you had with the president, what happened? What came out of it? Have you or any of the groups spoken with any of the leaders in the Southeast?
Discussion is going on every day. And what they are
what are they saying?
The truth remains that it's different.
What are they saying?
People can play to gallery. Today, it's not today we know about Nigerian politics.
What did they say?
I can come out here. If I can come out here and tell you that, oh, Nnamdi Kanu should be incarcerated. And I will go
what
out there.
What did the leaders say? You said you have spoken with some of the governors.
What they say is irrelevant as far.
No, it is relevant because I'm asking.
No.
You need to know.
As long as Nnamdi Kanu is still in there, what they are telling us outside is irrelevant. It's like somebody coming to say that I've discussed this person and say, I'm going to free you tomorrow. And tomorrow you are still there. Did you
follow up on the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is still there and whatever it is they told you did not come to the light?
Nnamdi Kanu just on his own said,
what did the leaders tell you? We need to
2
know
days,
what they said.
2 days, and this thing.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. This thing will come to an end.
I am still insisting on knowing what the governors told you.
The government don't need to tell me direct.
You said you had meetings with them.
I don't have any meeting with them. But those they are meeting with, we are getting a feedback every day.
So what's the feedback you got?
It doesn't do whatever feedback we are getting.
What is the feedback you got?
The truth is that Nnamdi Kanu is still there.
What is the feedback?
Nnamdi Kanu is still there, and as long as Nnamdi Kanu is still there, and there's still insecurity in the Southeast, all these things is babas.
What is the feedback you got? If you say you've been getting information, isn't it important to know what feedback they are getting from the government?
The point here is, you see, when you talk about violence in a particular region, you should, one could, or the group could equally use the peace as a bargaining chip for their leader to come out. And not using violence or not using unrest. Because if you are priming the environment, you are creating chaos.
For the same people you are trying to fight for.
You are trying to fight for.
In whose interest is it?
And for the same man you think you love so much and you want him to come out. Violence don't beget violence. So the point here is we must learn how to negotiate. That is the word here. When we negotiate, Nnamdi Kanu himself has said that, look, I didn't send these people go killing people. I didn't send these people go cause mayhem. I didn't send these people to cause unrest everywhere. The youth restiveness is about the interest of the people. About the interest, there is a personal agenda, not in Nnamdi Kanu's agenda. If they are actually becoming restive, because Nnamdi Kanu is incarcerated, then what they are invariably telling the government is to hold him to ransom for some time. Because you don't cause violence in order to bring or negotiate for someone. You are talking about Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho, when he caused violence in the Southwest, he ran away. His people were not killing everyone for Igboho to come out. They negotiated. So it is about negotiation, not violence. If anybody is causing this unrest because you think that is the only way Nnamdi Kanu can come out, that is not truth. It's not.
You see,
we must, I'm coming, sir. We must take this into cognizance that restiveness, the youth, like I said, look, some people are profiteering in this. And that's why they don't want it to go away.
And he has pointed accusing fingers at the leadership of the Southeast.
And you and I might not know what they are trying to do on the background. That is the point.
You see, Ziki.
Because I'm coming. Nnamdi Kanu, when he came out, you and I heard him, he said he didn't accuse any of the leaders. He didn't. He said he knew some people are profiteering from this, are complicit. And you and I, we've been in this country for quite a good time. Opposition parties, opposition elements will use every force possible to bring down an administration. They could use anyone. But don't be used because you would fall into the wrong hand of the government. And then Nnamdi Kanu, I am sure, if he comes out, the 2 minutes, I repeat, the 2 minutes he is talking about might take him 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Not to actually quell the situation, but to manage it. But then, he had not known the large,
how far
the group has grown. Because if you are not there, you are not there. So he is speaking from his own little knowledge how the group was when he left. And when it comes out, he will now be taken aback. The kind of atrocities they've caused, the kind of merchandise they've made out of this business, and how far they've robbed his name. Now, you are talking that a leader cannot speak through someone. Who said so? It's not possible, sir. If I, Ziggy here, had a group, and eventually I'm taken in, I can speak through someone. That is a mediator. We've heard that many times. We've seen that many times. Ejimako is lawyer. We've known this years back. And don't forget, Ejimako and the man in the Finland, Simon Ekpa, you remember a time when they were exchanging words here and there?
Yeah.
And you said, Nnamdi Kanu at a point said, I don't know any other leader for that group apart from myself. And I keep saying it. Nnamdi Kanu didn't know how far the group has gone so far. When it comes out, you will be amazed at the calamity they've caused. That might not be his name. Those calamities might not have been caused, but I said it has become a personal agenda by those elements, by certain groups within his groups. Because when they left, ISON was created. Okay? Remember, don't forget, IPOB wasn't the first agitators, or they were not first group. We have the one led by Masop, Wazurike. It was out of Masop that IPOB came out. Yeah. Then after IPOB, ISON created out of this. All these were offshoot of agitations from individuals who want to cause unrest in a region. The point here is, Nnamdi Kanu, I'm happy if he should come out.
Use that word that want to cause unrest on the region. There are individuals that are trying to address the injustice against people of the
But the way we are looking at this, the way they are looking at this, it is no longer a peaceful situation in the region. It is not. The people have been denied their source of livelihood every Monday. Who accounts for that? You are fighting for people. You are denying them their source. Do you know how many people that have, during the emergency those Mondays? Do you know so many people have died? You are fighting for people.
At some point, some students
can I tell you something?
Yes.
All these groups you are mentioning today will fizzle out when Nnamdi Kanu comes out. Let me tell you.
I think you should have said that. I think you should have said that other groups will spring up from that group.
When Asari Dokubo was incarcerated by the same federal government, there were a lot of groups that were fighting for his release. Niger Delta People Volunteer Force. And when you had Niger Delta People Volunteer Force, it was not just an individual organization. There were a lot of forces that came together. But when he came out, he called a meeting of all those leadership, and he addressed them. And what happened? Peace returned to the region. What I'm saying is this. I am not in support of any violence in the Southeast. I have, on this studio, several times condemned the ongoing mayhem in the Southeast. Because in fact, I even doubted. I doubt if it's the people of the IPOB and the Igbo people that are perpetrating that violence in the South.
Who else?
I am coming. A lot of people today in the Southeast that are not Igbo speaks Igbo fluently more than the Igbo people. A lot of people who want to destabilize the Southeast could have taken advantage of
that's another allegation. How do you know that it's
Edo mayhem against our people? But having said that,
how do you know it's Edo people?
I have said it here that I am against sit at home every Monday that is impacting in our economic growth in the Southeast. I'm also against an Igbo man carrying arms to kill a fellow Igbo man, all in the name of agitation, trying to release Nnamdi Kanu. But I'm also saying here that federal government should address the injustices that is going on in the Southeast. Now, let me tell you something. Even if you release Nnamdi Kanu today, even if you kill Nnamdi Kanu today, if you fail to address the injustice against our people, I give you, even if I can't ask them to slow down, I give you few months. Mind you, how we get to where we are today. It started from Masop. Where Masop was championing a peaceful protest, what is it called, sit at home, or this non-violent agitation. Our people were being constantly killed in each of their processions. The Nigerian forces, the Nigerian government, remember the issue of Mpo, the Mpo crisis. where a lot of Igbo people, master people were murdered on the broad daylight. Remember the issue in Enugu, in Upper Room, where they went to pray. I've never seen in any nation where people will gather themselves and lock the door and say they want to pray to their God to grant them freedom. And the Nigerian forces invaded them and killed them. We are shouting then that this is becoming too much. And at that point, I feel that people are beginning to ask themselves, how long are we going to continue on this non-violence? And these people, the state is visiting them with a very high level of violence. I think what metamorphosed into IPOB we are seeing today. So when you're talking about Nnamdi Kanu coming out, he cannot be able to control. I disagree completely with you. But I also know that if Nnamdi Kanu should come out today, and if the people of probably those leaders who are working with him, and find out that in 6 months' time, nothing is being done to address the injustice against our people, definitely another dangerous than Nnamdi Kanu will spring up. That is nature. He cannot.
We'll need to understand what these injustices are, but you said something that I needed to clarify. You
Structural
said
violence.
Edo people.
I did not say Edo. I did not say Edo. I said other
Did you
people.
hear him?
Did I say Edo? As other people, a lot of people speak Igbo in Igbo language fluently.
I kept saying it. I kept repeating that statement.
You're getting me wrong. I
kept repeating that statement because you mentioned.
Don't put word in my mind.
I'm not putting word in your mouth. It is something you said, and I needed to clarify.
Maybe somebody needs to tell you what I said from when you had replayed this.
That as you mentioned your point, you should be careful what you say.
Excuse me, I said a lot of people speak Igbo fluently in the Southeast today. You
began with that. And then you mentioned
Ziggy,
some other.
I never mentioned.
So as you mentioned your point,
let me also say this again. Let me also say this.
Let's be careful.
The election is past and gone.
Right.
A lot of people who were involved in election violence, those who visited our people with violence, they are all today working a free man. Those who burned down the markets where our people trades in Lagos State, they were all working a free man. But a man who made a threat that did not have the capacity to carry out that threat is still there languishing in the custody of the Nigerian government. And you call that justice? That is what Johan Gaston classified as structural violence against a people. Anything that you do that deprive the people their human right, their dignity to life, their right to fundamentals, and equality in everything in that nation is classified as structural violence. And this now has been carried out against our people since the end of Civil War till date.
Now, can we balance certain things here?
Absolutely. Then there's a need for a balance.
Yes, because if you watch the country we are, no region in this country is seen as being taken care of by the government at the center. No region is not marginalized. I must tell you that. Okay? And if you watch the way things are, we must begin to look at what favors this group, what favors that group. And until peace is brought into a region, you might not see the gains or efforts of any government. Because any efforts of any government onto a group will be a total waste if there is unrest in that environment. For instance, the whole North has about 19 states. Why do we have so much hunger in northern part today? Because of the polarization of the people caused by themselves. Now, there's agitation in the whole North, ranging from the bandits, banditry, criminality, no sort of criminalities we don't find in the North. And that's why so many efforts of government to the North might not be witnessed, might not be seen immediately. So it happens in any other place. Until you have peace in a region, the effort of government to that region might not be seen, the gains will not be seen. So it is not a thing we need to say by not agreeing to the fact that until peace returns to a region, you might not know how much effort. For the past administration, the one that is very glaring and obvious, in the past administration, Southeast gained more from Buhari's administration. And I tell you, Enugu-Port Harcourt Road, as we speak, is very motorable and a road that is of international standard. It was constructed under Buhari administration. That is Southeast. We have second Niger Bridge. That had never happened in other regions in this country. So I'm not here to condemn areas government has done well. Okay? And we have to look, at a point when that bridge was being constructed, do you remember the same community who's supposed to have a favor of that bridge went and stopped the contractors? So ours is to tell any group that is agitating for anything that no part of this country is not marginalized. Yes. No part of this country. And if you doubt, tell me which country. Niger Delta had claimed that, the whole Niger Delta region had claimed that oil that is being lifted from their place is not being used.
That they are not benefiting.
They are not benefiting from it. That is marginalization. Okay? So, talk about, what I'm talking about is violence. Once you have a violent region, you might not know how much effort is being put in. You've talked about leaders in the Southeast.
Right. I need Andy to touch on that.
Leaders of the Southeast, they are making so much effort. Why not so? Do you know how many times they visited the president for the release of Nnamdi Kanu? And I'm sure the talk is ongoing. It is not about they are not doing anything. No, I'm sure they are doing something. But their effort might not have been yielded the needed fruit. And until then, Nnamdi Kanu to have been granted interview, someone that is in incarceration, you know what that means between you and I. That is not a normal scenario for someone who is incarcerated to have been granted an interview. It's not a normal thing. But he was allowed. And I'm sure his release is very close. The 2 minutes he's talking about, I wished him Godspeed that he comes out the 2 minutes. But I doubt personally that 2 minutes might not be visible because the people, the organization he thought his leader had outgrown him.
Right.
And when it comes out, like you said, when it comes out, so many would still spring up because they might feel about that time that he is not doing what they expected him to do. That is very normal.
Of course. Of course. Let me also bring it to this angle. You see,
we have 2 minutes, so you need to wrap up your thoughts.
In as much as we are seeking dialogue in this country, let me remind you that I spent 2 years of my productive life in PRONACO conference seeking solution to Nigerian problems. And today, we have the man who championed and sponsored the PRONACO conference as the hem of affair in this nation. My question is, how long will it take him to start to implement what we have in the PRONACO National Conference Organization? And I'm also calling on Professor Wole Soyinka today, the only survivor of the leaders of the PRONACO National Conference. But Beck Order Security is no more there. Chief Enahoro is no more there, but Professor Wole Soyinka is there. We have a document. When is he going to present this document officially to the president to start implementing a solution? For the first time, the Nigerians gathered together to fashion a document, a constitution that they want to be We
have had series of conversations as Nigerians as
if
coming
together. If Tinubu is not comfortable with Jonathan Confab, what about the PRONACO Confab? Which he is champion.
But recently, you heard the police was state police. Then recently, what's it called? This recent one. There's this recent one too that was asked to go ahead. There's so much going on. The confab we talk about,
amendment of the Constitution. There's even an amendment of the Constitution.
Yes, amendment is still going on.
Yeah, so there are so many things that the government is saying.
Yes, it's only Pronaco. During Okuta, they had
this contract called Nigeria cannot work as presently constituted.
It can work if only we agreed.
It cannot.
It can.
James,
Nigeria is not bigger than so many countries.
What happened in the Southeast?
We have to leave.
Nigeria is not bigger than so. All we need is just to have a rebate and reconfigure our mind, have a rebate. The orientation too.
That's a political analyst, social commentator. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you as well, President Igbo Youth